This might look like a little ruined cottage here, but it's not. The Northumbrian coast was a real worry in the 1940s because it's flat. The Germans could easily access it from the North Sea and easy to land on. So there are a ton of anti-tank blocks and defence bunkers along the Northumbrian coast. And this is actually a disguised defence bunker. Let's take a look inside. It's just heaped lie on with rubbish. Yeah, it's the little windows you could shoot out of. Little shelf. I was thinking if I can't get a spot on the dunes, I might actually stop in here tonight, but yeah, let's not.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, it's Graham here, and I've been lucky enough to get myself out on another wild camp. This one's a bit different for me though, since I'm on a bike and I've got most of my gear packed in the bike. In the fork bags there, I've got my sleeping mat and a hybrid down jacket. On the handlebar bag, I've got my tent. I've got my electronics and power bank, a little triangular frame bag, and in the under the seat bag, I've got my sleeping bag and a pump strapped to the top. And I've never done any bike packing before, so this is just a bit of a proof of concept to see whether it's, you know, viable for me and to iron out any kinks before I do a long distance trip. I only live 10 miles from here, so I haven't cycled far at all. There's a stone tree monument here, and just behind me is Doggerland, albeit sunk under the sea 10,000 years ago. But there used to be continuous forest and swamp between here and Denmark. And when the sands are right, you can see uncovered in Druridge and Creswell 10,000-year-old tree trunks and tree roots, remains of the old forest stretching across the North Sea. And I just wonder if that's what this is meant to represent. But I'm probably overthinking it, aren't I? Mysterious stranger. It's my beautiful wife. I'm somewhere on the 7-mile crescent of golden sand that is Druridge Bay, and it's absolutely beautiful tonight. Meant to be zero precipitation, a bit of cloud, and I'm just going to pitch here with the sound of the sea to send me to sleep. I've got a couple of bits of kit to test. I've got a new tent. I've got the Nordisk Lofoten, which is just designed as a mountain marathon tent really, and the pack size is stupidly small, and it's a proper double skin tent with its own pole, and it comes in at 500 grams. If you look at the ultralight outdoor gear website and other website, it retails for about £760. But I got it stupid cheap for 100 quid. But as I'll show you, there's a reason why it's really cheap. This second-hand tent. And I've got another bit of kit which is not as interesting. It's a power bank, but I think it's an essential bit of kit for me and my camping, because I use my phone for navigation, I use it for podcasts, I use it for all sorts, and it's essential that I keep that charged up. And I think most people use the phones and come wild camping as well. And if you do a bit of videoing as well, especially if you use a GoPro, then I find a power bank absolutely vital for keeping my GoPro powered. So I've been given a power bank to try from Ansody, and it's a 25,000 milliamp bank. And I think from experience, 25,000 milliamps is easily enough for an overnight camp. I run my GoPro off it, I charge my phone multiple times, and I usually you know, do a night lapse, and in the morning I've usually got 50% charge left. So I think 25,000 milliamps is good for a weekend or a couple of days really, especially if you're not doing any filming. But I'll use it tonight for the first time and we'll see what it's like. It looks sleek and it feels pretty well made. It displays the remaining output as a percentage with one side button to switch on and off. In terms of output, it's got a USB port and it's got two USB-C ports with a total outage of 100 watts. The disadvantages I think of power banks are, well, like this and any other one, they tend to be fairly heavy. If I've got even two of these, then I've got something that weighs more than my lightest tent, and they're not waterproof, so you've got to take care of that. But that's the same with any power bank. There's a link in the video description, and if you're interested, there's a 30% off code which will be valid for another 3 months, I think, until the end of October. My good lady wife is unfortunately not staying the night. She just accompanied me for a bit of the cycle and just cycled off back home now. But I'll tell you what, she said she would never be on YouTube, and there she is. So I'm making a little bit of headway. You never know, I might get her out for a wild camp yet. I hope so. It's 4 minutes past 9 now, and the sun sets behind me in 16 minutes, but there's still people on the beach, and there's still cars on the beach road behind me. There's a fella metal detecting about 50 yards from here, and there's a couple sitting on the beach being romantic and stuff. And like I said, there's a kind of dog walker's path, like literally 2 foot behind me. So I'm just going to hold my nerve a bit longer before I set my tent up. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you the pack size of this Nordisk Lofoten. It is absolutely crazy small. There it is there. And 500 grams, and that's a Spyderco Tenacious full scale. It is just incredibly light and small. And the pole sections are just tiny, so the poles just fold up to nothing. I've never slept in it, and I got it really cheap off eBay because the buyer was really honest, and it's got several, well, I count it's got 15 small lacerations in the fly sheet at different places. It looks like someone's took a knife and they've like just shivved it. But I've checked the fly sheet. There's no dried blood on the inner. There's no dried blood on the inner. I don't think actually anybody has been stabbed, but it's a really, really odd pattern of damage to a tent. I can't imagine how it's happened. If you've got any idea, then in the comments, please. I'll get up with this bit of daylight. I'll show you what it looks like. But what I thought was, I got it for 100 quid, as opposed to 770, and I'll just buy some sil nylon patches and patch it myself. You know, that'll cost a tenner. It'll not look pretty, but still I've got a great tent for a pretty reasonable price. There you go, race weight 500 grams. Unbelievable. I mean, I know you can get tarps and tents as light, but remember this is a double skin tent with its own pole. The only trouble is the sil nylon patches didn't arrive in time, so I haven't patched the tent, and I so wanted to try it out. I'm going to trust the weather forecast. It said 0 precipitation for where I am, 0. So if that's correct, then I'll be fine. If it's not, then I'm going to get wet. But it's a risk I was happy to take. We'll see how it goes, fingers crossed. In the meantime, I've only got a thin cycling jersey on and I pedal like mad to get here, so I was sweating a little bit, and now I've stopped and the sun's going down. I'm starting to chill a little bit, so I'm gonna get my jacket on. And I broke the mould. This is not a mountain jacket, it's a Berghaus, another eBay bargain, and the idea behind this jacket is it's got down the centre of the chest where you need it to keep warm, and on the hood and the arms and the shoulders it's all synthetic, so where it's most likely to get wet it's synthetic, and where it needs to keep you warm it's down. So it's the only thing I've got with me. I haven't even got any long trousers, so I hope it's going to keep me warm. The sun is starting to set beautifully over there. I think it's going to be dark in about 20-25 minutes. And there's still folk on the beach, walking dogs and whatnot. But what a stunning beach, isn't it? And Northumberland beaches, whoa, never get really busy. If you can see a person and a dog in the distance, count that as a busy beach. So I get asked occasionally why I don't do many solo camps, and I look back at my videos, and I mean I've done solo camps, but I look back at my videos and not a single one was a solo camp. So I thought I kind of better put it right, and I might by myself tonight, although my good lady wife did join me for the journey down. But I don't do many solo camps. I think A, because of health reasons, because of the epilepsy. I could get into real trouble if that, you know, flared up. It would be very unpleasant at the very least. But I think that the real reason is that I just think most experiences are better shared. I like good crack. I like companionship. You know, I'm a bit of an introvert, but you know, I'm not. Strangers are a bit, you know, a bit of a an effort for me sometimes. But I like my mates, and to go out with your mates and wildcat and have a bit of crack and watch the sunset together and that, and just have a beer. I think it's just one of the best experiences in the world. And I think I just prefer camping with other people, if I'm honest. But let's just have a look at where I am. Absolutely fabulous. Nope, there's still people on the beach having picnics. Well, having a drink and a sandwich maybe. I don't want to disturb them. They clearly want their own time. I'll not go down on the beach. You know. Right folks, I'm just going to get my tent up. Sunsets in 4 minutes. I can't believe anybody's going to be walking the dog on this path behind me between now and 6 o'clock in the morning. So let's get it up. And that was the tent basically up. I mean, I love Nordisk tents. I think the production quality is great, the materials are great. I need to tighten this side up to get rid of a few of the wrinkles, but the height here is about 70 centimeters, so even a small fella like me is not going to be able to sit up in it. As I said, it's just really made for mountain marathons, and I think what I'm going to do is think of it as a luxurious bivvy rather than a small tent. And I think that's probably the best way to think about a tent like this. But I'll show you what I mean by the damage on it. It's got about 15 of these lacerations all over the fly. I mean, there's one there. There's a few over here. But like I say, I knew that when I bought it, and I think I've got a bargain tent with a bit of sil nylon patching. I think I'm going to like this tent. It would be a great tent to take as a backup to a bothy sort of thing, do you know what I mean? It's 500 grams, it weighs next to nothing compared to other tents, and it'll still provide your own little shelter if the bothy's full or it's full of lunatics. I'm still trialling the ONETIGRIS EcoArk, and I've gotten the extension. I can use it to blow up my Expert mattress. Thing is, that couple that were having a romantic tete-a-tete, there's 20 yards underneath us. off the sand dune, and if I blow this up, it's going to make an awful racket. I'll be wondering what on earth's going on. I'm just going to have a peek and see if they're still there. They're still there, but you know what? I'm just going to go for it. So there's definitely nothing fancy for me tea. I've got chicken pasta and mushroom British Army Ration Pack that expired 10 years ago in 2015. I think it'll be alright. Let that just heat up in there for a few minutes. You know what? I'm enjoying this. 10 years expired or not. Take a look. I reckon these British Army Ration Packs are pretty good. Hi folks, well I've got a beer to try. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I think it's Zocaveza, and it's inspired by Mexican hot chocolate. Supposedly it's got flavours of chili and cinnamon, nutmeg and chocolate. Let's see. Oh, it smells really rich, that. Oh, it's richer than Bill Gates. I'm getting those flavours and they're really kind of dancing on your tongue. I'm reminded of like a Van Gogh painting, you know, the colours he used, like the humble golden yellow, and you know, signifying the corn that men were reaping, and that amazing cerulean blue cover that you got on Starry Night. Fantastic. And I've actually been to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and this is how cultured I am. I was on a stag weekend in Amsterdam and I still made time to go to the Van Gogh Museum. I mean, we saw a lot of typical stag party grot there as well. It was pretty awful, most of it, but yeah, I've been to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, and you can actually buy furniture there and get it shipped back home. So I actually bought a coffee table in the Van Gogh Museum and had it shipped off home, and when I got home it was already there, and I unwrapped it and I knew it was genuine because it had a bit of veneer missing. It had a bit of veneer missing. Yeah? Is that a good one? No? Well, I quite like that, but I guess not. Okay. While I'm subbing this rather remarkable brew, I do want to thank the folk that bought me a coffee this month. So thanks very much to Mark Woods, thanks very much to Dawn, and thanks very much to Someone. I mean, that was the name on the donation, Someone. And folks, it's absolutely great. And I love hearing the comments that you write when you buy me a coffee as well. It really lets me know that I'm doing the right thing by keeping on with these videos, and I guess those people have helped me pay towards this rather stabby looking tent that I'm sleeping in tonight. So yeah, that is great, thank you. I need this morning. Well, it's barely 5:15 and I've already seen 2 cars pull up on the beach road and a couple of fellas just walking. But mind you, I am right in the country park now. But finished the nights last night and then just cycling down and sleeping in the dunes last night. Listening to the sea was absolutely fantastic, and I really appreciate you coming along, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.